Hello, guys, and welcome back to Everything New York Jets. Today, we're going to do another mock draft. But just before we get into it, just tell me down in the comments, do you prefer just seeing the clips, or do you prefer, like I'm playing some clips right now, or do you prefer kind of the still image with the stats and whatnot? So, anyways, let's just get right into it. I'm going to have the Jets selecting Zach Wilson, number 2 again. I think more and more information is coming out. The more and more it seems likely that the Jets will select Zach Wilson. And for me, I prefer Zach Wilson watching him this year in college than what I saw from Sam Darnold last year. Also, number 2, the financial side of things, I cannot say enough how important it is for the financial side of things with the QB, right? With Sam Darnold, you're getting 1 year, and then you're going to have to extend him on a fifth-year option, right? Zach Wilson, you're going to get 4 years on his rookie deal and 1 year on a fifth-year option. And the fifth-year option's, probably $25 million, but it's still very below what the market value is. So you're really getting 3 more years of more cap space and cap flexibility with drafting a quarterback instead of sticking with Sam Darnold. And a thing also I want to discuss is even though the cap space is going up, it doesn't mean necessarily that now it doesn't matter because we're gonna have so much cap flexibility we can re-sign Sam Darnold and trade back because really as contracts are really like a percentage. So for example, let's say a quarterback is 40% of the cap. Well, even if the cap goes up, that means the how much money a quarterback's going to make also goes up, if that makes sense. So, for instance, in this free agency, we saw so many 1 year deals is because the cap was down this year, so the market value was lower. So players are hoping that, okay, well, I'll just play out this 1 year deal. The next year, the cap's going to go up, and I'm going to get a bigger contract, right? So yeah, overall, I just think this is a move to make. I think he's a better quarterback. But if you guys want to see a different mock draft, maybe like Justin Fields more, Trey Lance, Mac Jones, whoever it is, or sticking with Sam trading down, just tell me I can maybe do one like that. And with the 23rd pick, I have the Jets selecting Creed Humphrey, center, and he's very strong. I wouldn't call him the most athletic offensive lineman in the draft, but he's very strong. He's technically sound, very fluid, and the reason why I love this pick so much is he can play center. That's what he played in college, but he can also play guard, right? He can move along the offensive line, and I think that's really important because we can go into next season play him at guard, play Connor McGovern at center. But if Connor McGovern doesn't play well, we can always move Creed Humphrey to center and put Connor at guard. And let's say next once Connor McGovern's contract is over and we don't want to bring him back, well now we have a guy to replace him. We have a center that can replace Connor McGovern and can play well. And I think offensive line is going to be a priority for Joe Douglas. I find it hard to believe Joe Douglas didn't sign any in free agency and won't draft any, and I think this 23rd pick will definitely be an O-lineman. So a lot of you wanted to double dip with the O-line in the comment section on the last one, so why don't we do that here with the first pick in the second round, Trey Smith out of Tennessee. He's an absolute run mauler. He's super athletic. But the main thing that's concerning about him is just his injury history, right? He always has injuries, and that's the sort of thing that you're hoping he'll get healthy with the New York Jets. But if he gets healthy, he can legitimately be one of the best, if not the best guard to come from this class. I mean, he is really great when he's healthy, but again, availability is the best ability. So we're gonna have to see and track his career and see if he is healthy. With the third pick in the first round, I have the Jets selecting my favorite player in the draft, Amari Rodgers from Clemson. He, in my opinion, most underrated player, most underrated wide receiver. I think he's a first round talent, and he's constantly mocked third, fourth round. So if he's there in the third round, I would do it 100%. I would draft him 100%. He's a guy who, when I watched Trevor Lawrence, he popped off the screen, right? He's Trevor Lawrence's right hand man. He's constantly catching balls from Trevor Lawrence. He's constantly making big plays. He's a guy with speed, right? Trevor Lawrence throws, a screen pass. He's gone. Amari Rodgers has gone 60 yards. Amari Rodgers constantly making big plays. He constantly gets separation. He's a great route runner. He can beat press with a multitude of moves. He's a very refined. He's a good catcher too. He can catch contested passes. he, in my opinion, it does everything correct. He does everything right. He's like the most balanced wide receiver, I would say. He just does everything great, right? The only knock I would have on him is he will drop a few passes, but it's not a big deal, right? I think that's easily going to be fixed. It's not like a nagging issue that's constantly affecting him. And also, Jets in the beginning of the offseason, they brought him in for a meeting. So there is clear interest from the Jets to draft Amari Rodgers, and I wouldn't be surprised if he is a New York Jet next year. Um, we need we need some wide receiver depth. So this just makes sense for everyone, in my opinion. I think this is a great move. I would do it 100%, 10 out of 10 times. With the last pick of the third round, I have the Jets selecting Javon Williams, running back. And here's the thing. Looking back at this mock draft, there is no perfect mock draft, right? Because this one was all offensive, though, we're leaving some holes on the defensive side. If we kind of balance it out, well, we're still going to have holes. And that just shows how many holes and how many, problems we have on this roster that we need to fix. And so I would say if I continue this to a 7 round mock draft, the rest of the picks would be defense because we went offensive heavy here. But let's just get into what I love about Javon Williams. He's extremely fast. He can receive the ball in the backfield. He's able to evade tackles. He's able to pick a spot, find the gap, and just hit it hard, right? He's hard to bring down too. I mean, this guy, we need in this offense, we need a running back, right? And or multiple running backs. I mean, we need multiple running backs. We kind of need a rotation because that's what the offense is all about: having fresh legs, stamina. Javon Williams would bring that, right? He would bring that. I think Jets are definitely looking for a running back, right? They're looking to draft a running back in the beginning of the season. They brought in Najee Harris for a meeting, so they're looking for a running back to draft. And I wouldn't be surprised if Javon Williams was a pick. I love him personally. I think he's one of the better running backs in this class, and I think it's good value to get him in the third round. So that concludes the mock draft. Consider subscribing for daily New York Jet videos. Tell me what you guys think. What should I have picked for each pick? Do you disagree on some? Do you agree on some? And I hope to do more in the future.